Well, welcome everybody. I'm really excited to see so many people joining our live webinar, our first live webinar for OSINT Curious, to talk about how to search on Facebook. So my name is TechNazet. You might find me on Twitter at TechNazet, and I'm doing this show together with Kirby.
Yeah, and so my username on Twitter is Curbster, but my name is Kirby Plusses, and you'll find my website at plusses.net.
Awesome. Well, I think we can go ahead and start, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. Let me see. There we go. Well, what we will be doing today is we will be going over some basic searching via the search bar when you're logged on to facebook.com. We will be talking about some tools you might want to use for advanced searching. We will be explaining to you how to build your graph searches, show you some other interesting search options, and we might have some time for some Q&A at the end. We want to tell you upfront that we're not going to be showing you any live demos, just to prevent that live demos sometimes fail. We pre-baked everything.
Privacy issues.
And privacy issues. Yes. Yeah. So cool. We will be starting. So just a couple of days ago, my Twitter timeline got filled up with people seeing a new Facebook design. For now, the responses I got so far is that people are not experiencing any difficulties when searching. Also, the search filtering options all seem the same as before. None of us actually have seen the Facebook beta version now. So we're going to show you the version we're seeing as today, which might be considered the old version. But that's what we're going to be rolling with. Kirby, do you have anything to add?
Right. I just want to emphasize that it doesn't look like the actual search filters change or that anything about search changes with the Facebook beta, but that's left to be seen.
Yes. If it changes very drastically,
we'll have another webinar.
We will do another webinar, yes. So we will be talking about doing some basic searching via the search bar. So as you might have known, at the beginning of summer 2019, Facebook graph search as we used to know it, it got killed or died or tragically disappeared from the internet, which was a real pity for everybody who was doing online investigations. But the search bar actually improved a lot, and we want to show you some of the options that are really working pretty well. So this is how it normally looks now. If you type in anything in the search bar, you will see that it's immediately selected to all. At the top, you will see that there are some categories you can choose from. And there will be a filter menu on the left side. So this filter menu will change every time you switch into another category. There are different filter settings for every category. Kirby?
Yeah, I was just answering a quick question on the Q&A. So again, if you want to ask questions, whoever's not speaking at the time, we'll go to the Q&A and answer that. But I took care of that. If you want to go and look, you can see the answer there. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're right. There's different searches for different filters for everything. And sometimes, in some cases, the search bar here will not only be good enough for your search rather than going to advanced, but sometimes be actually the better choice for your search.
Yes, that's true. So when we were talking about searching for people, we all know that we can type in a first and last name, select a filter, or select a category people and see the results. So one of the things we also know is that Facebook users can have a different username. The username can normally be found in the URL. So it will be facebook.com/a username. And the username can sometimes differ from the actual screen name. So in this case, we're looking at an example of YouTuber PewDiePie, who people might know. His real name is Felix Kjellberg. I might not pronounce it correctly, but I'm giving it a try. So if we type in his full name in the search bar, we select the category people. This is the profile we're getting. And now we actually are seeing that the username in the URL is different than the screen name. So his screen name is his full name, but his username is pods1989. So normally when you only have the username for a Facebook account, you would probably go to Google to see if you can reverse, go back to the actual Facebook account, or you might try to put it behind facebook.com to see if it results in any profile. But you can now actually search for the username as well. If you type in the username in the search bar, and your filter or your category, will be set to all, you will still see the profile of the person who you're looking for. If you select the category people, you might find that there will be other people in there too. Most of the time, the top first results will be matching up to the username you're searching. Sometimes you have to dig a little bit further. Kirby, do you have anything to add?
No, I think you got it pretty good. So
good.
All right, wildcard searching. So there are some of the section that will let you use just an asterisk in your search. You have to have something in the search bar because you have to use it to even to access the search panels. A few things allow you to do asterisks. So for example, the posts and I think photos allow asterisks. I can't remember. And the all section will allow asterisks. Some do not allow the wildcard searching at all. That for example, people and pages, you cannot use the asterisk.
So if you are going to be using the asterisk and you have made a filter setting in the left menu, so for now we are looking for posts by Mark Zuckerberg, you will see that in the left side menu where the title posts from is, we have selected a source called Mark Zuckerberg. So if you want to change the search query, like we want to know which of the posts Mark posted about his wife Priscilla, you could change the search query in the search bar, but this will make sure that every filter setting you've chosen will be automatically deleted. So the best way to do it is to change it in the URL. Just behind the question mark Q is, there will be an asterisk, change it into whatever you want to search for, press enter, and it will keep all of your filter results. So now we've changed it into Priscilla. You will see that Facebook will change it into Priscilla as well. And now we will still see the filter options we've chosen for before. Kirby, do you have anything to add?
No, I think we're good.
Cool.
All right, searching for photos on Facebook. So when you are searching in the photos section, again, you can't use asterisk in this case, but here, for example, we're looking again for Mark Zuckerberg's wife, Priscilla Chan. And as we look, we're seeing some photos, some of her, some of other people, but sometimes it seems that they're kind of random, and especially if your person either has some other people with the same name or similar names, or there's a lot of people posting pictures of them. Sometimes it's much better to choose an actual source. So we're going to choose photos and choose a source. And if you know someone who should be posting or might be posting pictures, in this case, we've got Mark Zuckerberg's sister, Randy. Now we're getting more personal pictures that didn't show up in the first set of results for photos. This sort of thing works also for posts and videos. If you have a source, you're going to get some stuff that might not be readily viewable. Do you have anything to add? Hmm?
Well, one of my favorite graph searches before it all tragically died was to look for photos by or photos tagged. So you would be able to still see content that might seem a close profile, but you would still be able to see some publicly available pictures. And although this is not completely covering everything, because you would be able to see every publicly available picture, if you chose a source close to the person of interest you're looking for, there's a very big chance you're ending up with publicly available pictures you wouldn't be able to see on their own profile. So People who are looking for tagged photos, that old option, even though it's not possible anymore, this is probably the closest it can get.
Let me also add that you can search for people who are tagged who have removed their tag. So for example, when you get tagged and it alerts you that you were tagged, you can go and remove the actual link that goes to your account. But if the words are still there, you're searching on keywords in this case. So
yes,
you could still find photos that someone was tagged in, even if they had removed the official link.
That's true. Cool, we're moving on to Rosetta. So this is something many people might not have seen before or haven't paid attention to. So about a year ago, Facebook launched Rosetta. So as you might have known, Facebook is struggling with the very big issue of fake news. And they have to verify stuff, and they have to verify pictures, and it's impossible to do that with the human hand or eye or mind. So they're using artificial intelligence. So they created a project called Rosetta. And Rosetta is actually looking at the image, but also understanding the text in the image and then understanding it together. So looking at this example, you will see a picture of a penguin with the text, "Penguins can fly." Well, we know penguins cannot fly. So it looks at the picture, it looks at the text, it says, okay, it's a penguin. It says penguins can fly. This is probably a joke, or it's a meme, or however you want to call it. We might accept it on Facebook. So it does this for not only English, but also for other languages. And it actually makes it somewhat available for us as a user to search for. So we would be able to search for words actually shown in an image instead of actually something that is describing the image. So for example, we're going to be showing you web breacher, the username of Micah, one of our co-founders. If we're going to be typing in his username, selecting photos, we will see a random selection of photos. We click on see all, to see all of the publicly available pictures. Now, some of the pictures that might show up might not seem relevant. Sometimes, for some reason, I'm not quite sure why. In this case, you will see, there we go. You will see the word web, W-E-B-B, but it doesn't, it's only part of what we were searching for. So you have to filter through it a little bit, but this one is actually quite interesting. This one was posted, there's no text, there are no comments, nobody was tagged, but it shows the word web breacher in the image. So if we're going to be checking to see if the original post might have contained the information we're looking for, we're going to be right-clicking on the date, July 1st, open it in a new tab in order to see the original post. And again, we are not seeing any comments. Nobody who replied had the name web breacher. It's not in the original post. There's no text referring to web breacher, only that is in the image. So you would be able to search for text in an image, which is quite interesting because then you can start searching for ID numbers, birth names, license plates, house numbers, or maybe a phone number. Let's say there is a contractor who is remodeling your house and he has a sign put up saying, "Hi, I'm working here, and if you want to contact me, this is my phone number." Typing the phone number and you might be able to find the exact image of a remodeled house where the sign from the contractor is on. So this is not actually working really well yet. So I've done some investigation to see what kind of results are the best. So what I've found out now is that the oldest photo dates back from February 2019. It was the oldest photo I could find, which, as the example showed of web breacher, didn't have any text, tags, comments, or whatever referring to my search, but it only had the text in the image. The results are getting slightly better as of the end of July 2019, And I'm getting better results as from October 2019. And it looks like it's only improving over time. So my suggestion would be, go and try this. Go and see if it helps your investigation. If you're looking for something in a picture, or you might be interested to see if a phone number comes up, a license plate, a house number, a street name, or maybe something, I don't know, on the side of a missile, maybe text or identification numbers, to see if it might pop up on a photo. It can be very interesting. And my hope is that this will only improve over time, and this will be an awesome tool to use.
Yeah, so I just want to edit and say, let's go back to for a moment. So one more back if we can.
Yeah.
So I just want to highlight again what you said, that it's not going to be complete. So if you think, okay, well, something's not on there, well, maybe they haven't indexed the images from farther back. But also you can use it to find logos. Like, for example, this is a logo.
Yes.
So if you're doing intellectual property searches, you can also do that. And I also want to point out Web Breacher, as you guys know, Micah Hoffman, he's one of our OSINT curious people. I want to point out that the likes underneath there, somebody's crying and somebody's laughing about this picture. I'm not sure what that's about. But anyway, okay,
yeah,
let's
I'm
go
not too sure either. Oh, by the way, good to know is that I've tried to translate the username of the person who's posted this Web Breacher logo in order to see if this might be a translation of his username, maybe, and that's why it would show up. But I couldn't translate this username anyway back to anything referring to either Web Breacher or hiker or hacker. So,
and that is important to say that you can search here on Facebook, and sometimes you will get the translations.
Yes. I've also tried to, by the way, search for Cyrillic and Arabic lines in order to see if those results might turn up as well. Mm-hmm. Some of them did, but they weren't as good as the normal Western letters and numbers we're using in our language. So my guess is that it will probably evolve over time, and the machine learning and Rosetta will improve, and hopefully our search results will too.
I think you're right, because one of the things that's happening right now with Facebook, as far as I understand, is that, they've had some privacy problems in kind of like the Western world. So we're saying like Europe and North America. Yeah. And so they're still growing in the other parts of the world. They're still really growing at a fast rate. So they're going to start focusing on those languages quite a bit more.
True. Cool.
All right.
Do you want to take it away, Kirby?
Oh, sure. So the Facebook graph search. So we're talking about graph search again. Early summer, when the old version of the graph went down, there were some people who very quickly sprung into action, and I want to say thank you to all of those people out there. And I think we've got some credits for people on our blog.
Yes.
Like Hank Van Ness and Sawdust and some of those people who really jumped in to figure out what the new graph setting was. And I think also, we've got a lot of people that we kind of credit. But what we want to do now is kind of show you how to do some of that graph search. Really important when you're looking at the graph search, you need to get your language settings to English, US English, right? And then the next thing you need to do is you need to get that ID number. So that's either for the group, the page, the location, and the person. You always find that ID. The easiest way to do it, in my opinion, and so there were a bunch of tools before, some of them were down, but the easiest way to do it is go to the view the source, do a Control F or Command F on a Mac, look for the entity underscore ID. As long as you're on the main page of either place, person, a page, you will find the ID number right after entity underscore ID in the source code. All right. So first, let's talk about some tools. There are some stuff already out there to help you do the graph search. As long as you have the ID numbers, these tools will help you. An example, Sawdust tool. So we have the URL right there for you. It is also on our Facebook search page on OSINT Curious. We've got part 1 and part 2. This interface, what you do is when you go down to the bottom, it's going to be very, very simple at first. It's just going to say search. You're going to click into that and you're going to choose your section that you choose. So in this case, we chose posts, and that's when the filters show up. When you get a filter, you've got to put an ID number in there. You can't put a username in there. You can't put a web address to somebody's page. You have to have already gotten the ID number. 4 is the ID number for Mark Zuckerberg. You're going to click Add Filter, and the filter is going to show underneath the search bar. So make sure that you see that search there. You do have to also choose a keyword. Notice that underneath keywords, it says Show URL, Open URL, New Window, or Clear Filters. Before you switch your search, you got to clear those filters because all the filters stay until you switch them up. So then you can open the URL in a new page, and these are going to be posts from Mark Zuckerberg because, again, he's our number 4. The reason you would want to use this rather than just going to Facebook and saying, I want to search post by Mark Zuckerberg, which we could very easily do, is that sometimes it's not so easy to get that suggestion of the user. An example is Mike Smith. There are a lot of people named Mike Smith on Facebook. If you go to Facebook's main search and you search for posts from Mike Smith, when you do that search, it's going to give you, from source, it's going to give you 5 suggestions of Mike Smith, and it may not be your suggested person. It may not be the person you're looking for. So in that case, get their ID number, come to a tool like this, and look for the post by Mike Smith.
Yes. And although we've seen that tools can be very helpful, we also know we can lose them pretty quick as well. Mm-hmm. So inteltechniques.com, you might have all know him, has been down. So we lost a tool which lots of people use. So even though tools are very great, it's also very great to know how they actually work. And that's something we're going to show them now. Sorry, Kirby?
Yeah, and you can sometimes go further when you have the when you're doing the code yourself, and not like following a tool.
Yes, and it's not very difficult. So we're going to be showing you how to do and how to build the searches Sawdust is showing us, so you can use them to your advantage. Oh, let me see. There we go. So we're going to be talking about the basics of graph search. So one of the things we're going to be starting with is a very basic URL. This will be the URL we will be working from, and we will be expanding it as we go. We will start very relatively simple, and we will build it up further down. So when you're searching, remember when you're looking at the actual interface of Facebook, there will be a big category box on the top, just below the search bar, where you can choose the categories you want to search for. So you will see in this base URL, top is in bold, which will be the parameter you can choose from. So this will be correlating to the categories you can search into. So you will see a list of categories below. You can change top into posts, people, photos, videos, pages, and places. And if you want to change the query, we're going to be doing it after the question mark Q is. In bold, you now see OSINT Curious. So we will be searching for any top related stuff on OSINT Curious. We can change it into, let's say, Amsterdam. And if you want to expand this, so if you want to put in more search words, you can do this in 3 possible options. You can use a plus sign. So you can say, I'm looking for Places Network, which contains 2 words. Put a plus in between. You can just use a space, or you can choose to do a %20 sign, which is a space in HTML, and it all works. So you can either use a plus, a space, or a %20. So we will be talking about how to expand the filter options on the left side menu you will see in the visual Facebook design. And we will be talking about using JSON and Base64, which are coding languages. And you might have never heard of them, or you might not know how to use them, or how to write them, or how to read them. That's not important at all. It's very easy, you just have to copy and paste a lot of stuff. So I don't myself write any JSON or Base64, and I am still able to do those searches. So if I can, I know you can. So let's start. We're going to do an example because this will be the best way to show you how it actually works. So we're going to be looking at posts, most recent posts about baseball. And most recent is actually not a filtering option when you're looking at the actual visual Facebook design. So this will be only something available when you're doing the URL manipulation. So we're going to be searching in the category posts. You will see it in bold just below the pictures. And our query will be baseball. For most recent, this will be your JSON line. So we have to translate JSON into base64, and we're going to be pasting it behind this base URL. So doing the whole translation is relatively easy. It's not any different from going, let's say, from English to Dutch, or translating something from Polish to Chinese. It's very easy because we have tools for those. One of the favorite tools we like to use is CyberChef. It's an online available tool. You can download it as well, so you can use it offline. It's very easy. Step 1 would be to choose the recipe. Click on it, drag it towards the recipe box. So we're going to be changing something to base64. We're going to be dragging the recipe into the recipe box. Then you're going to be putting the JSON line into box number 2, where it says input. If you have the auto bake sign ticked on, it will automatically bake it or translate it into base64. So this was very easy. I don't speak any JSON or base64. It was just a matter of translation and clicking some buttons. So now we're going to select the output. Oh, one more very important thing to know. JSON has some characteristics. Oh, sorry for my English. The quotation marks, they need to be the ones that go straight down, not the ones that are slightly curved. Make sure that you're using the ones that go straight down, because if you're not using those, your output will be different and you will not be able to see the results of our search. So make sure your quotation marks are always straight down.
Yeah, and not straight down quotations. Those are the ones that are going to be on your keyboard. So if you have to type them yourself, you're going to be fine.
Yes.
It's when you copy the weird ones that things get weird.
Yes. So we have the JSON line. You will see it in the top one. And then underneath there will be the base64. So again, we're going to be copying the base64 and paste it behind this base URL we've built. So we're searching for posts. Our query is baseball. And we were looking for the most recent posts, which is the whole JSON to base64 we've just now did. If you would be copying this URL into your browser, these will be the results. They are now sorted by most recent. If you are not sorting by most recent, they might ending up in a different timeline. So you might have the one 7 minutes ago before the one who was posted just now. So this will be the most easiest way to see the most relevant results. So let's say you're monitoring a demonstration outside and you want to know everything that has been going on about, I don't know, Brexit. This would be a very easy way for you to see the most recent posts about Brexit instead of all of the posts in a random order. Do you have anything to add, Kirby?
No, but there's a question in the chat that someone, Sancho Villa, is asking, are there any Chrome plugins you would recommend as a JSON translator? Now, does CyberChef have a plugin? Does anybody know?
CyberChef, I don't think they have a plugin, but there are multiple tools you can use in order to do the translation. Yes.
And they're probably all good because it's just a translation. So like CyberChef is what she's using here. There's dozens of tools. So if there's one that has a plugin, it's probably just as good as any other.
Yes, agreed. Was that the only question?
Yep, so far. So let's keep going.
Cool. So for every category, there are different filter options, just like we discussed in the beginning. Some of the filter options are only available when you're doing the URL manipulation. If we want to go over them like category by category, this will probably bore you and this will be a sleeping webinar instead of an active webinar. So if you make a photo of the QR code, it will take you right to our blog on OSINT Curious, part 1, where you will see all of the JSON and base64. And in order to help you out, we've already done the translation. If you want to do it yourself, you will have all of the steps there to do it yourself as well. And otherwise, you can be just a lazy investigator and copy and paste if you'd like to.
Hey, I just wanted to let you know that Mott Given has put in our question tool
Oh, yeah.
that there is a CyberChef browser extension. So we will put that in
Yay.
chat, but it's also in the Q&A, and we'll just say thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. Kirby, you want to take it away on combining the queries?
Sure. All right. So graph search, combining the queries. The thing to know, the thing for this file cabinet to know is that when you're combining your queries, make sure that you are, we have a question to show the QR code again, so you can show that while I'm explaining this. But when you're combining the queries, keep in mind your queries have to be toward the same thing. So for example, we can combine the query saying looking for posts from a certain person and then posts that tag a location, but you can't search for posts that are by a person and then photos that are tagged by a location at the same time. It's always got to be kind of the same major category. All right. So
yes, so you have to stay within the same file cabinet, if you'd like to call it that way.
Yes, the exact same drawer. Yeah. All right. So I think our search here we're going to do is going to look for our person who is living in a certain place and working in a certain place. So this is our guy, John. He lives in Silicon Valley, or he lives in Mountain View, I believe, right? And
yes.
He works at Google. So we're going to go look for him. So first of all, we get our basic search URL together. We're looking for a person, so our category is people, and our query is John. All we know is his first name. So there's our query. So the next thing we have to do is we have to get the ID number for our location and for our company. So our ID number for Mountain View, California, we've got it because we've done the page source way to find it. And then we find our ID number for Google as a company. Now we go to our JSON and we say, okay, here's our JSON query for users who live in a location. This one requires a ID number. So we put our ID number in that last section. Make sure you leave the quotes exactly where they are, the slashes exactly where they are. You just kind of plug in the ID number. Same thing for the employer. You get the little bit of JSON that's saying where somebody works, and you plug in that ID number of where you want them to be looking for employers. Now we have to combine this. So when we combine the JSON, there is an extra set of brackets when you're combining. You can't just stick them together. You got to take that second set of brackets out, but it's important that the comma stays in. So there are some tools that are going to help you make sure that this actually works in JSON, that it's translatable. So go ahead to the next slide, I think. So here's the JSON formatter and validator, the URL we had before. And what you're going to do is you're going to paste what you think is your combined JSON in there, choose compact, and see if it works. If it doesn't work, you're going to get a red bar, and it's going to give you a little suggestion of what it should be to work. So then you take that JSON that now works, and you're going to take it back to CyberChef or any of the other base 64 translators, and we switch it to base 64, we paste it in there, and now we've got our base 64 all baked. Copy that, put it at the end of our basic URL that we created earlier with people and John, and now we're going to find people named John who live in Mountain View, California, and work at Google.
Yes. So, and this again, like Kirby explained at the beginning, if you want to choose a city, as you see the screenshot now, it looks like you can actually choose a city, type in Mountain View, California, and select the right city. But again, if you're looking for a city or maybe a company or a school which have multiple companies around the world, let's say KPMG, or maybe the city of Amsterdam, which is also a location in America, but also in the Netherlands, using that ID number is very important. So you now exactly know I'm looking at the right Mountain View, California page, or the right
example.
Google.
Yeah, like something like Starbucks or Walmart, there's actually pages for every version of them. So you have a Walmart for a certain town. And if you want to focus in on just who's claiming to work for that Walmart, keep it in mind that most people who work at Walmart are going to choose the official page when they tag themselves as working, but some of them might choose the location page, especially the managers. So go find the ID number of the exact page that you're looking for, the people who are listing themselves as employees. It's going to work a lot better.
And again, combining these queries, there are lots of search options. This QR code will take you immediately to our second blog on OSINT Curious, explaining to you how to do this process. So if you want to go over it very slowly, go and read our blog and see if there is anything of your liking in there. And again, you can just copy and paste everything that's there. There are screenshots available. All of the links are in there too. So you can just read how you have to combine them again.
Okay, and then I would like to answer a question that came in. Will the slides and notes be available on the blog? Well, definitely the slides will be able to. I'm not sure. Are we going to have all your notes on the blog as well?
We will see. Well, a good thing to tell everybody who's now in the webinar is that we're going to try to, we're recording this as we speak, and we're going to try to put it on our YouTube channel. So everybody who would like to review this, maybe a step slower or go back a couple of slides, you will be able to.
That's right. It will be on YouTube.
Yes. Cool. So we have covered most of the Facebook search options within Facebook. So how to use the basic search bar, how to do a basic graph search, and how to combine the queries. But there are lots of other options too. Due to the limited amount of time we have selected a few to go over. We're going to look at a couple of Kirby and I's most favorite Google Dorks in order to search on Facebook, how to see the mutual friends between two profiles, and how to find an email address connected to a Facebook page. Kirby, do you want to take it away?
Sure. So our favorite Google Dorks. Basically, the first one is a Google Dork that's going to help you find a person. Let's go back one.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. To go find a person. This is the way you had to do it in the past if somebody changed their name. So, for example, if somebody's name was John Smith and they changed their name because they're worried about privacy and now it's something you couldn't possibly think of yourself, you could go and look in the URL and find John and Smith together. Now, of course, you can do that via the Facebook search now, but this is still a Google Dork that I probably will still use just to kind of give myself some leeway in trying to find people. Then the next slide will show that you can actually also use that for a username itself instead of just a name. So yes, you can search those via the search bar now, but another thing to do is use the Google Dork. My other favorite Google Dork is when you're looking for a location. Now, sometimes, and this is kind of goes with the suggestion, maybe you're looking for that ID number for the city you're talking about, but you can't get the suggested city. And when you look for the city on Facebook, sometimes it goes to places, and instead of saying, you know, the city of Amsterdam, it'll be like Amsterdam Police Department. Here's a Starbucks in Amsterdam. Here's another place in Amsterdam. And that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for the actual city. The fastest way to find a city, skip Facebook search completely, do a Google Dork site facebook.com, name of the city, and then post in quotes things to do. And the things to do pages are those auto-created pages for cities. You're going to find your city in a heartbeat. You can also not find the city. You can also go for a region. So like a state, a county, a country, or even like a continent. You just do site facebook.com, the name of the country or the region, and then just put region in there as well. And that's going to help you get that region so you can get those ID numbers.
There is a question by Sebastian.
Yeah, more of a comment. He says you can also use Facebook Places. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes the places will give you the answer correctly, and sometimes you get some weird like facilities in there instead. So I find it, I don't have to fiddle around and look for that. I just go to Google and I know it's going to be the very top result.
Cool. So sometimes you run into a profile which may seem very close because you won't be able to see their friends list, but you still want to get an idea of who the people are they are involved with. So one of the things you need to do is to find somebody who's close to that person or in their inner circle. So this would be probably a family member, a relative, a coworker, or maybe somebody they have the same interest with. You will be looking at the ID number. Now again, the ID number of a profile page can be found in the source code of a profile. So
can I add something?
Yes?
Before we go on, when you say they have to be in the close circle, Honestly, they just need to be, they don't even need to really be friends with them on Facebook.
No, that's true.
Yeah, so they just have to be kind of somebody who you would assume would have mutual friends.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
go ahead.
No, that's fine. So you will need the ID number of the profile page. At the beginning of our presentation, we showed you how to retrieve the ID number. So you will be looking in the source code, doing a Command F or Control F, looking for entity ID or profile ID, and the number behind that word will be the ID number you will be using. So you can only do this if one of the people you are looking into has an open friend list. You cannot compare two people who have a closed friend list. One of them has to be an open friend list. So we're now looking at Mark Zuckerberg, which user ID is number 4, and one of the people who I found he had mutual friends with.
Can I answer the question again? So
yeah.
Before we go on with Mark Zuckerberg, his profile, his friends list is private, and the question we had is how do we basically find the friends to query with these when the person we're looking at whose friends are private in the first place? All right, so theoretically, you're looking at them all over the web. You might find some other friends, but also even just on Facebook. What you can do is go into that regular search again and find posts or photos where either they're tagged or coming from them tagging other people. So
Yes.
Whoever they're talking to, whoever they are communicating with on Facebook, that's who I would start with.
Yes. This particular person who I'm now comparing Mark Zuckerberg with, I found because this guy was liking some of the photos Mark Zuckerberg had posted. So I assumed they had some mutual friends in common. So we are using a URL, facebook.com/browse/mutual_friends / user ID is, in this case, number 4, and the user ID of the profile we're looking into. And your results will be matching up somewhere like this. So you will be seeing some of the friends in there who are mutual friends. So I've experienced myself that sometimes I knew for sure people were friends on Facebook, but they didn't end up in the mutual friends list. My guess would be that this is a privacy issue, that it's not showing up there.
It's the thing is, everybody who shows up has an open friends list. So anybody who has a private friends list doesn't show up. Now, there used to be a way back in the old Facebook graph where you could say friends, and like redo it in the graph format to find people with private lists. Now you can't, but you can go through the people like Aaron Sittig's public list and the other person's public list and see the private people that are in there just looking at their list itself. And there's of course some add-ons as well, like there's like Extract Face, for example, that'll go and map it, and then different things in Maltego and that sort of thing that will map out those friends lists and help find the graph search.
Yes, that's true. I see another question.
Yeah, so he's talking about using the friends with for people who have their friend, give you the list of all their friends who have their friends list open.
Yes.
Using the graph search. So I think this mutual friends one is pretty good, but I think, is there a graph search now that lets you do friends with? Because there used to be, and I thought that was one of the things that were killed. But Sebastian might be right. There might still be one out there, something to research.
Yes.
Thanks, Sebastian.
So the other thing is getting an email address connected to an account. So lots of people try to use the I forgot my password method. I must say it's my least favorite one to use, because I've experienced in the past that people might get notified by the fact that somebody's trying to retrieve their password. And if you're doing an investigation and you don't want your person of interest to know that you're actually researching him or her, this is something you definitely want to avoid. So here's a method explaining how to find a connected account to an email address. But it's not as easy as the I've forgotten my password method. But I'm going to take you through it step by step. So the thing you need to do with your account is to create a page. And a page can be about anything. It can be something related to your research account, but it can be completely random as well. You can, let's say, bang your head on the keyboard if you want to create a page. So we've got a page here. You will be going to click on Settings, and there will be a very long list in the left side menu of options to choose from. And you will select Page Roles. You will be able to type in either a name or an email address to assign a new page role to, so a new admin, as you might have said. So you can type in the email address, and it will show if there's an account connected. But the thing is, you cannot actually click on the results. So you know now that there is an account connected, but you don't know which one. But there is a way to find out. You're going to refresh the page, right-click, and then select Inspect. This is, by the way, this is done in Google Chrome. It might look a little bit different in another browser you're using, but this is how it looks in Chrome. You will be selecting the Network tab. So the Network tab will give you lots of information, and you might be very overwhelmed by everything that's in there, but I'm going to show you where to exactly look, so stay with me. You will be refreshing the page. You will see all of stuff happening in the Network tab, and you will be typing in the email address again. So this is where you're going to be typing in the email address. When you have selected the right results, this is how it will look, and you will see lots of stuff happening again at the bottom in the Network tab. You're going to be selecting the last line that says !search _ mode is anyone _ accept _ verified _ account, and a new tab will open on the right side. Click on the Response tab, and you've probably already seen it. There will be an ID number shown of the result that is actually matching the email address to the account. Now copy the ID number and place it behind facebook.com/ and you will be able to see the account. And you will still be able to find out the email address connected to the account and what the URL is in order to visit the profile. We're already through.
All right, and then we have something from Mott. He actually gave a link of see relationship history between two people coming from makeuseof.com. I posted it in the chat, so if anybody wants to click straight through it, that's in the chat. And then I'm also going to, mention that Sebastian knows that the Sawdust tool will also have something for the friends with option. So make sure you check the chat, and then also check out Sawdust tool and look for the friends with.
Cool. I think we have about a couple of less than 10 minutes spare for any other questions. So if there are any other questions to either Kirby or to myself, please put them in the Q&A section. And if there are none within a couple of seconds, we might end the webinar, I think.
All right, and like we said, if the new formatting of the Facebook pages changes a lot of the stuff in search, we will figure it out, just like everybody else will, and we'll do another webinar.
Yes, we definitely will. And again, if you're want to know more about OSINT Curious, go check out our website. And if you really like us, feel free to sponsor us if you want to, via either the Parthian link or to buy products we've designed on Redbubble. Just make sure that we're a non-profit organization, so none of this will be used to pay any of the members of OSINT Curious. We will only use it to improve the platform we have in order to have less advertisement anywhere, or to use a Zoom account that allows more people in on a webinar. So yeah, if you want to sponsor us, feel free. Yeah, there are some questions coming in.
And this will be on YouTube, remember that.
Yes.
Okay, so questions. Thank you, Summit. He said that it was very informative. And then phone numbers. We were supposed to talk about the phone numbers a little bit, so let's talk about that.
Well, the phone number thing is, it would be possible, like in the beginning of this year, it would be still possible to type in a phone number in the search bar in order to see if there was an account connected. But it got killed during the fact that Facebook Graph died, sort of. And then a lot of people went into the mobile app in order to upload their contact book to see if it matches any of the Facebook profiles. But actually that feature is going to be killed as well. I've seen a lot of publications over the last, I think it was week or so, that if it isn't already killed for you, because lots of people have experienced for quite some time already, it's going to be killed as from January 2020. So for privacy, this is probably a good step. Your phone number will not be found related to your Facebook account, or cannot be found by researchers. But for researchers, it's quite a sad day that it's going to be killed, I guess. I'm not quite sure if there are going to be any options available that are going to be similar to it. I have no clue what's going on, so my guess is that it will probably be killed.
Okay, it was killed. It's been killed for me for a while. I just accidentally sent back one of the questions. Is there a way to reverse search images on Facebook? What do you think?
Well, for now, probably not. But my guess is that if Rosetta evolves over time, there hopefully be an option. But for now, there's no way, I guess.
Yeah, normally what I do is I'll take photos from Facebook and be able to find them elsewhere on the web, but it's hard to find them coming into Facebook. Last question. iOS contact phone search technique still work? Does it still work with Messenger? I have had no luck with it lately. How about you?
I had some luck, but not on iOS, but on Android.
Okay.
But I must say I haven't had a search in about 4 weeks. So yeah, I'm not quite sure if it's still working now, but it will only be lasting for a couple of days of December, I guess, because from January 2020, it will probably all be gone.
And Mott just gives us a reverse search link for Facebook. Thank you. Awesome. All right. So again, this will be on YouTube. And again, we do have a Patreon if you want to help support us. And check out OSINT Curious, osintcurio.us.
Yes. So thank you, everybody. Happy holidays, and hopefully lots of OSINT for 2020.
Yeah, we're excited. Let's go.